Welcome to ShelfHelp. ShelfHelp is a new blog series put on by 4 Rooms Creative Self-Care. It will use the principles of bibliotherapy to suggest a few books that may help you focus on a specific situation or need in your life. ShelfHelp will be appearing about every 2 weeks. To suggest a theme that may be of interest to you, you can always email us at shelfhelp@fourrooms.ca. Your topic may just become the subject of a new episode. First of all, what exactly is bibliotherapy? Well, creative bibliotherapy is the art of using literature, a poem, a book, some kind of fictional narrative, to learn and to heal. 4 Rooms practices creative bibliotherapy. We do not suggest that you use self-help books or non-fiction, which might be better used in conjunction with a therapist in clinical bibliotherapy. What we are doing is just allowing you to see how fiction can help us change the stories we hold of our own lives and create better stories for ourselves, for our futures. But on to our first shelf help. Our theme this week is appropriately Valentine's Day. In this Valentine's Day edition, we'll be focusing on 4 books that have something to do with love in one way or another. And one of these should help you in your approach to Valentine's Day this year. At least, we hope so. The first book we'll be talking about is a classic, Pride and Prejudice. This was first published in 1813 and has been immensely popular ever since. It has spawned a great number of adaptations and later sequels written by others. But before you dismiss Pride and Prejudice as too well known, or too much of a classic to be of much use, let's think about what there is in it that talks to us about love. Now, we all know the main story is about Elizabeth Bennet and Mr. Darcy, a love that has star-crossed lovers at its midpoint. Now, Elizabeth and Darcy have to fight for their love. They represent a love that has to go through ups and downs and is finally won by each individual holding to their self-respect and to their desires to win through to a strong and equal love. But Pride and Prejudice also includes many other kinds of love. And by looking through it, we can see an example of impulsive infatuation, a love based on passion and a spur-of-the-moment decision. Kitty, Elizabeth Bennet's youngest sister, runs off with Wickham. Her head is turned by his dash of being a soldier. But that love is not particularly, does not turn out particularly well. Opposite to that is the love of Charlotte, Elizabeth's friend, and Mr. Collins. Mr. Collins first approached Elizabeth, but when she turned him down, he was quickly taken by Charlotte. When Elizabeth expresses her surprise, Charlotte states that her love is more interested in practicality. She needs a home of her own, and the only way she can get this is to accept someone who can offer her that. So she decides Mr. Collins is worth the effort. We also have Jane and Bingley, who represent true love at first sight. They have a similarity in outlook and in personality, and although their love has many obstacles, they finally come together at the end and live happily ever after. So we can see that Jane Austen is exploring the many varieties of love that can be found in any society, and we're not sure which one she thinks is the most useful or practical. The next book is The Enchanted April by Elizabeth von Arnim. This was first published in 1922. It was written during a time of emotional turmoil for the author, who had just written a book called Vera, about a woman who leaves her abusive husband. This was rumored by many to be based on her own late marriage, and to compensate, she decided to write a book that can believe in the power of friendship and true love. So she wrote Enchanted April. This is a wonderful book that deals with married couples, but also with the individuals who are left alone without a romantic partner. 4 women from Britain decide that they will rent a home in Italy for the month of April to escape the drabness of London in the rain. While they are strangers to one another at the beginning, by the end they are all fast friends. When they arrive in Italy, Lottie, the main character, states that it is a tub of love. The natural beauties open their hearts to the hidden beauties of the world and to those hidden beauties inside themselves that they have been pushing down and holding under unhappy surroundings and petty grudges. Two of them invite their husbands to join them. The owner of the home that they're renting comes to join them. And by the end, Mrs. Fisher, the old widow, has had Lottie especially promise to be friends forever. So that shows that there are romantic pairings as well as true friendships that represent strong love relationships. The next book is The Calligrapher by Edward Dawkes, which was published in 2003. In this book, Jasper, the main character, makes a living as unlikely position of a calligrapher. He is creating a beautiful series of John Donne poems for a rich American client, and this allows the book to be structured around these famous love poems. Jasper has been quite a man about town. He enters relationships and breaks them off just as easily, with no regard for the hearts he's breaking. But the tables are turned when he falls in love with someone in his own building, and only near the end of their relationship does he discover that it may not be quite what it appears. This is a very interesting look at the very different ways people in relationships see their relationship. The final book is The End of the Alphabet by C.S. Richardson. This was published in 2007 by Random House Canada. It's a very brief novel, but very moving. It's about a happy marriage of two soulmates who are alike in so many ways, but their magical romantic relationship is interrupted by the fact that death has become imminent for one of them. The book is very moving, raising the questions of how can we still love and express our love in the face of death? It also talks about how love can be enshrined in our memory even after it is gone, by telling our stories and re-enlivening our love relationships. It's a very touching meditation on the power of enduring love. Well, I hope one of these books has caught your interest and that you will be likely to pick one of them up and explore the many meanings of love this Valentine's Day. Thank you for listening to the first episode of ShelfHelp.